All right, Shalom. First, I start by sending all praise to Yahweh, by Hashem Shai, by Hashem Kakadash, double honors to the elders and the apostles that we will, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. My name is Amawan, and I'm here to prophesy about the downfall of America, just as well as the rest of the kingdoms around the world, man. And it's becoming more and more evident that the U.S. is on its way out the door. You know, for us that's in the know, we know that this third world war, which is known as the Battle of Armageddon, even, you know, you have various presidents that didn't use it. If the Bible didn't exist, why is presidents used in biblical terms? You know, but we know, thus us in the know that all it is the end of Esau's kingdom, because the Lord set the white man up to be in rulership. His biblical nationality is Esau, or his forefather was Esau. They are known as the Edomites. Esau's name was changed to Edom. Edom in Hebrew is Adawan, which means red man. So the Lord set him up to rule this world, you know, but right along with his rulership, you know, you got these other nations that's up under him in their rulerships in their own countries and lands, except the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We are up under the foot of this white man. Even though Mexico and South or Central America have their own lands, except the Negroes, they're still not in a form of rulership, and they don't have no command, no control. I don't even think, now that I think about it, they have a seat at the United Nations. You know, so that just goes to show you that we are not in rulership. They don't have no seats at the UN. Now that I think about that shit, just all the other nations, all the heathen nations, under the Psalms 83 Act, according to the Bible. Since I haven't said it, let me go ahead and get it. Psalms chapter 83 verse 1, a song of psalms of Asaph. Keep not thou silence, O God, hold not thy peace, be not still, O God. Right, and the Lord ain't been holding his peace. He ain't been keeping silent. He's up and about throughout the earth by way of his prophecies. All this hell, destruction, and the battle of Armageddon, that's the Lord speaking and acting. For lo, thine enemies, the Lord himself has enemies, make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and have consulted against thy hidden ones, the Israelites, man. The enemies of the Lord are all the nations. It's going to say it. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Right. So they took our biblical nationality and called themselves the Israelites. That's why it's no more in remembrance unto who? Us, the blacks, the Latins, and the Native Americans. There are 12 tribes. We belong to any one of those tribes, man. All the nations have came together and all the nations have came together to keep us from knowing who we are according to the Bible. It says, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, Edom is the white man, and the Ishmaelites, those are the Arabs, and the of Moab, the Chinese, and the Hagarenes, that's the so-called African nation. Gabal, African nation, and Ammon, Japanese, and Amalek. Amalek is the so-called Jews, still Edomite nation, just under a different tribe according to the Bible. The Philistines, another African nation, different tribe. With the inhabitants of Tyre, right? More Africans, different tribe. Assur, or the Assyrians. Assur is the Assyrians. Also is joined with them. They have Hopeland, the children of Lot, Selah. Right, so all of them came together to keep us from knowing who we are according to the Bible. They all took pieces of our heritage and called it their own. Islam with the whole, the women and the wearing of the hijab and, you know, the covering, that came from the Israelites, you know. Because our women actually got body, and it's supposed to cover up their body to keep from all lust and the things of that nature. Them Arab bitches ain't got body like our women, you know, and they probably didn't have chemicals put in their food, just like Esau put in white people's food to blow them up, man. You know, some of them may have body if they might be an Israelite though, because our people are scattered across the world. Our people look like other nations. Jake messed with these other nations and produced children that look like the other nations. So the ones that got nice figure, got some swag and whatnot about themselves, is our people. Though no woman on this planet Earth got the same body as our women. That's why she got to cover up. Modesty. As the scriptures say. That's the law. You know? As well as other things that they have taken from us, man. Jeremiah chapter 12, verse 9. My heritage is unto me as a speckled bird, different colors. The birds round about are against her. Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field, come and devour. The other birds represents the other nations, are against the Israelites, man. Hosea 7 and 8, Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned. Ephraim, the so-called Puerto Ricans, a cake not turned. They are very light complexion. They're not as dark as Judah, Benjamin, Levi. The Benjamin, Levi, Jamaicans, so-called Jamaicans, even the Trinidadians, the West Indies. Levi, the Haitians, Judah, the so-called African Americans. The predominant Ephraim is predominantly of a lighter complexion. Now you do have some dark-skinned Ephraimites or Puerto Ricans. You do have dark-skinned Puerto Ricans, but they are a cake not turned. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64. And the Lord Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people. See? From one end of the earth, even unto another. So we were scattered all across the world, man. And there thou shalt serve other gods which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Right, so Jake is scattered all across the world, worshiping wood. Wood goes into Christianity, you know, the cross. Stone goes into Islam. The Kaaba in Hebrew is pussy. That's that rock that they bow to. They go to what's called the Hajj. Yeah. So that's our people over there looking just like the Middle Eastern nations. With the whole thing with the Palestinians, that's a prime example. Ephraim is over there, and you know all of our nations over there, but Ephraim is for sure is over there looking like them Palestinians under that branch of Islam, getting bombed right along with them Palestinians, man. You know. So that Esau gonna have to pay for that. So when you see these other nations, you can't just automatically think that they are heathens. Sometimes we can tell through the spirit, sometimes we can't. But the Lord gonna be one to decipher all of that. This is Matthew chapter 13, verse 24. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat. Right. During our captivity, Esau was raping our women. There's just another example of how, well, I'm gonna let it speak for itself. This is Matthew chapter 13, verse 24. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat. The man that sowed good seed is the Israelite man. While men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat. The white man was taking out women and raping and impregnating them. They are tares amongst the wheat. The wheat represents the Israelites, man. And went his way. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. Right. The other nations sprung up, they end up looking like us. Once that kid was born, he ended up looking just like us. But he wasn't of us. Looked like Israelite, but got the spirit of the devil. Just another example of how this whole, how would I say it? We were scattered. We were made to look like other nations through our scattering and our reproduction, just as well as other nations raping our women and dealing with our women and looking like us. It says, It says, and when his way, but when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? From whence then hath it tares? He said unto them, An enemy hath done this. The servants said unto him, wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. Right? So during this ministry, when you teaching, some of our people look like other nations, some of the other nations look like us. Sometimes you can tell, sometimes you can't. Verse 30, let both grow together unto the harvest. And in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles, to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. Right? So, the harvest represents the end of the world. The reapers represents the angels. The Lord gonna gather them tares, the heathen nations, and burn them. He gonna cast them into nuclear fire. But gather the wheat into my barn. The barn is the chariot. The Lord gonna make the distinction between who is our people and who not our people. Ultimately, who of the elect to be delivered, and who of a heathen nation that look like us, that's gonna be cast into the fire. Right, so, the Lord gonna make that distinction, man. Hold on, Salakia. All right. Right, so let me recap. The Lord sent the nations against us to take us down, take all our customs, and pose themselves as us. There's 12 tribes of us, and we all don't look alike. We are of various different shades, even look like the other nations, but the other nations also look like us, So the Lord, he gonna gather his elect, his chosen, and take them with him. And as far as the heathen nations, they all gonna be, a lot of them gonna be killed, and then the rest of them gonna be put in slavery. But a lot of our people are also gonna be put in slavery as well. That's why all this hell is going on. That's why the Battle of Armageddon is kicking off and things like that. See, these mysteries were given unto the Lord's men, the prophets, man. These mysteries aren't for everyone. Fuck it, bear with me. It's Amos chapter 3, verse 7. It says, surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. Right, so the mysteries in the scriptures about who the nations are and their agenda and what they have done to us were given to who? The prophets. That's why we can stand out here so boldly and tell you what's going on in the world and who we are and what they have done to us, man. Slacky, bear with me. All right, this Colossians chapter 1, verse 26. Even the mystery which hath been hid from ages and from generations, but now is made manifest to his saints, right? The saints are the Israelites, the prophets, those who the mysteries were given to, man. That's how we know we're at the end of all things. Okay, this is Psalms chapter 148, verse 13. Let them praise the name of the Lord Yahweh, for his name alone is excellent. His glory is above the earth and heaven. He also exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel. A people near unto him praise ye the Lord. Right. So that's who the saints represents, man. Not them so-called Jews. As a matter of fact, the scriptures say that they are the synagogue of Satan. It's like y'all gonna have to bear with me with this because I kind of lost what I was finna get at, but y'all right desire to come back. I'm gonna take it this way. Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, right? But thou art rich. This is for the Israelites, man. We are going through tribulation and poverty. Not the so-called Jews. They getting money from America's the top person that's giving their ass money, billions of dollars, as well as other nations. They couldn't possibly be. They couldn't possibly be the children of Israel. They're not in poverty. They have a well-established military. You know? But thou art rich. Rich in what? Faith. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not. Right. Them proclaiming that they are the people Israel or Jews is blasphemy, according to the Bible. But are the synagogue, synagogue means chief house of Satan. That's who they are. That's what they represent, man. They're not the chosen people. They covered up. That's that crafty council, 1948. The British Mandate of Palestine. This is Romans chapter 11, verse 33. Just to show you what the riches are in that scripture, because it doesn't have nothing to do with money. Romans 11:33. Oh, the depth of the riches, both of the wisdom and knowledge of the Most High. See? Both of the wisdom and knowledge of the Most High. The riches is likened unto wisdom and knowledge of the Lord. How unsearchable are his judgments, and his ways past finding out. The only people that can find out his ways is his chosen, his elect, of what's given to us, man. All right, this back in Revelations chapter 3, verse 9. It says, Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not. See, the Lord made them to be of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not. The Lord put that spirit on them to be the devil and to lie about who they were, man, to help keep us down. Because we're right now just serving out our punishment for the things that we have done in our ancient life, in our past lives, and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. Right? So when the Lord returns with his angels, and all the smoke clears, them nations, them Jews, the Zionists, Amalek, all of them are Edomites, they gonna come bow before us. It says, let me read it again, just the last part. I will make them to come and worship before thy feet. That word worship, if I'm not mistaken, it means reverence or respect. And to know that I have loved thee. They gonna realize that the Lord has loved us and not them. When they see us with all that power, man. A lot of nations are waking up right now to the fact that the Lord don't deal with them in their biblical nationality. And the scriptures even say our fathers have inherited lies. The devil, the white man, starting with the elites, have pushed out lies for the whole world. Starting during the Renaissance period. You know? And now the world has been waking up to the truth of that fact. Through who? The Lord and his men. The men that he set up, man. This is Jeremiah chapter 16. Hold on, give me a second. Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 19. O Yahweh, my strength and my fortress, and my refuge in the day of affliction. The Gentiles, the other nations, the heathens, shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. Right, so all that acting like y'all us, and we're just the scum of the earth, nobody's, didn't know nothing, y'all help us establish us and all that, y'all conquered